He didn't want to keep working a $8,000 a month job. He felt like he had chosen the wrong path. Earning just over $50,000 a year completely woke him up. He realized one tennis match could earn more than his entire yearly salary. So he placed all his hope in his daughter. He wrote a 70-plus page training plan. When his daughter turned 10, he took the plan to different tennis clubs. He wanted to find her a way into a professional training system. But every time, he was rejected. At that time, the tennis world was mostly white and dominated by established circles. It was hard for a black father to be accepted. His plan was dismissed as fantasy. Many people told him to give it up. Tennis was expensive, and the chances of success were extremely low. It was nearly impossible for an ordinary family to break through. And he was just a community security guard. Coaches looked down on him. People around him also thought he was unrealistic. Some even said his training style was too harsh and felt like torture. But he never changed his plan. During the day, he trained his daughter. At night, he worked as a security guard to make money. His 3 daughters practiced on an old, worn-down court every day. They figured out their own training methods. They trained strength, swing mechanics, and ball control. They repeated the same movements under the sun. Life was tough, but the family atmosphere was good. They lived in a high-crime neighborhood. Gang activity was common on the streets. During training, he always had to stay alert. If strangers came close, he would immediately take the kids away. One day, his oldest daughter was harassed. He told her to get back in the car first. Then he went to confront the man. But he was beaten by a group. He didn't fight back. He didn't want his children to see him lose control. On the way home, he told them about his childhood. When he was young, no one protected him. He had to survive on his own. The world never respected him. So he wanted his children to learn how to earn respect and protect themselves. The kids were still happy despite the environment. Even though the house was crowded, their emotions were positive. He knew things couldn't continue like this. They had to enter a professional system. Only then could they change their fate. He began searching for better opportunities. He took his 2 most talented daughters to tennis facilities. They walked in without appointments. At first, coaches ignored them. Later, they reluctantly agreed to watch them play. The sisters performed steadily on court. Their strokes were smooth and their control was precise. The older daughter stood out with her speed and strength. The coach began to take them seriously, but he only agreed to train the older daughter for free. The younger one felt left out. The father told her to keep preparing for her chance. Their mother helped her continue training at home. She used video recordings to copy her sister's drills. Training continued. Time moved forward. The older daughter improved rapidly. The coach suggested she enter junior tournaments. The father agreed to let her try. Before the match, he told her not to be nervous. Just play normally. But she still made mistakes in her first match. Her rhythm was off at the beginning. Her father kept encouraging her from the sidelines, telling her to relax and play freely. Slowly, she found her rhythm again. Her serve became stable. Her control improved. She began to dominate the match tempo. In the end, she won the championship. On the way home, the kids got excited and started bragging. They even criticized their opponents. The father got angry immediately. He believed you must respect others regardless of winning or losing. He made them get out of the car and walk home. When they got back, he played a children's story for them. He asked what they had learned. The kids gave different answers, but none of them matched what he intended. He emphasized the importance of humility. No matter how others see you, you must stay respectful. After that, the girls trained even harder. But the neighborhood was still unsafe. After training, they were harassed by local troublemakers again. They chose to keep training anyway. The father believed only results could earn respect. But when he got home, police were outside his house. Neighbors had reported him for child abuse. He was extremely angry. He explained that he was strict, but only to keep his children away from the streets. After an investigation, the police found nothing wrong. They had to leave. The mother warned the neighbors not to interfere again. Everyone knew it was jealousy. They didn't want to see a black family succeed. Soon after, the sisters kept competing in tournaments. The older daughter won multiple championships. The younger also performed well in her debut. Media attention began to grow. Sponsors started reaching out. They were willing to cover training costs, but they demanded more competition and publicity. The father refused. He believed education mattered more at this stage. He even decided to pause junior competitions. He saw many parents pushing kids too hard. Some were even cheating. He didn't want his children involved in that environment. The coach believed this was wasting talent. They eventually split. The father began to doubt his own decisions. One night, he went to the court alone to release frustration. Local troublemakers showed up again to provoke him. They even threatened his daughters. He lost control and rushed at them, but he was beaten down again. Later, he wanted revenge. But the attackers were taken down by another gang before he could act. He realized violence led nowhere. He had to leave to protect his family. So he started searching for a more professional training environment. He contacted a coach in Florida. After seeing the sisters play, the coach agreed to take them. The condition was a future revenue split. The father insisted the whole family must move together, and their education had to be secured as well. The coach eventually agreed. The family left their neighborhood and moved to Florida. Everything looked completely different on the way. Life entered a new phase. At the training facility, they saw not only prodigies but also ordinary kids. The coach explained these families helped support the system financially. Elite players trained alongside the sisters. They quickly adapted to the new environment, but the system still required frequent competition. The father again refused competition schedules. The contract stated no matches could happen without his approval. The coach was unhappy upon discovering this, but he had to accept it because it was already signed. 3 years passed. The sisters did not play official matches, but training never stopped. Media continued to follow their story. The public began to question the father's decisions. They believed he was limiting his daughter's potential. The father rejected all criticism, but in reality, his daughters were starting to want competition. She even tried to express this through the coach. The father slowly realized it. Then news came about another young player. She had broken down under pressure and left the sport. The father became even more cautious. He canceled training schedules. He took the kids to amusement parks to relax. This decision angered the coach. The conflict escalated. Family disagreements also began to appear. The mother believed the children should decide their own future. The father gradually realized he had been too controlling. His daughters were no longer kids. They needed to choose their own path. He finally decided to talk to his daughter and adjust the plan. He spoke with his oldest daughter directly. He told her about his past. He said he grew up without protection. He had to face violence alone. That experience made him want to protect his children, but it also made him too strict. He told her the road ahead would be difficult, because she represented not only herself but others like her background. The daughter said she was ready. Their relationship began to improve. Eventually, he gave her the choice. He no longer made decisions for her. Soon after, the oldest daughter announced her return to competition. The tennis world paid attention again. Many people wanted to see her real level. The day before the match, sponsors offered massive endorsement deals, but the decision had to be made immediately. The family told her to choose for herself. She ultimately refused. She believed her value was more than money. The official match began. She started nervous. She made several early mistakes and fell behind. People in the stands began to lose confidence. Some even left early. Only her father kept encouraging her, telling her to stay focused. She slowly adjusted her breathing. She remembered all her training. She regained her rhythm. She stabilized her control. She gradually took over the match. In the end, she made a comeback and won. The entire crowd stood up and applauded. Sponsors later increased their offers, but they still refused, because a tougher opponent was waiting the next day. The father also paid attention to the younger daughter. He knew she had been living in her sister's shadow, and waiting for her own moment. The night of the next match arrived. The older daughter stepped onto the court confidently. The match began with her in control. Her offense and defense were both strong. At a key moment, her opponent used delaying tactics. Timeouts disrupted her rhythm. Her performance started to slip. The opponent slowly came back. In the end, she lost the match. She lost to experience and mental toughness. But the audience still applauded her, because her performance was already outstanding. After the match, she stayed alone in the locker room, feeling down. Her father walked in and did not criticize her. Instead, he told her she had played a full match against the world's best. She had already proven herself. True success is not only winning, it is stepping onto the stage. After hearing this, she regained her strength. When she left the arena, she saw a large crowd of fans. She realized she had already been recognized. This was only the beginning. In the following months, she received even bigger endorsement deals. Her income increased significantly. The younger daughter gradually entered the professional circuit. The entire plan was basically realized.